This conference will now be recorded.
Hey, hello everyone. Hope all of you are able to see my screen. Hope all of you can hear me as well. Can I have a quick confirmation? Team? Yes, thank you. Thanks for the confirmation. So, if you remember yesterday, we have started our discussion with how to prepare your SDTM dataset, provided you have your annotated CRF, your project details, raw data sets, specification Excel. When all these are available, how to convert your raw data set into a SDTM compliance data set. That's what we are discussing, right? That is simply AE domain coding. So yesterday we first started with the required variables. We understand that there are a couple of required variables. Those are nothing but, here it is. What are them? We'll start with the study identifier, domain, subject ID, unique subject identifier, ADaM. Correct? So there is one more variable that we have here, but ideally your subject ID is not a your identifier variable. Just to understand this, we have written this particular one. Correct? So once we have completed that, we move to your expected variables. Under the expected variables, just give me a second. All right, sorry. So we started with the expected variables. That is, the variables will be part of your domain data set, but null values are allowed. Whereas your required variables are the one where these supposed to be present in your data set and no null values are allowed. Correct? That is no missing values. And when we started with the expected variables, we have completed few of them. Let me also bring them here because this is the yesterday's one. As is, I'm just keeping here. So under the, let's go with both required variables first. These are your required variables. Let me copy them here. So under your required variables, we have completed all of them except your AESEQ. This is pending, correct? We decided that we are going to do this at the last because this is going to be a sequence number. Then we started with our expected variables. Again, in the expected variables, let me go here. Here is what my expected variables are. Under the expected variables, there are total of 16 expected variables. In the 16 expected variables, we have only 4 of them pending. Am I correct? The last 4 are the one which are pending. What are them? So from AE action, that is adverse event action, AEREL, start date and time in character format, end date and time in the character format. These 4 are the pending ones. So first we will complete this and then we will go with the permissible variables. Okay, so what is the one that we want to do? Now we want to go with the AESEN. Okay, so what is the drill? We go to the specification Excel first. Here is what AESEN is. Here it is mentioned that action taken with study treatment. All right, and you can also see the format. Out format is going to be, you have ACN value, so it is going to be ACN. Let's see what are those ACN details are. And if you scroll left, here also you have, this is in is nothing but what you have in your data set. Out is nothing but what's supposed to be the data, what's supposed to be a variable name. Okay, now here also it is saying that it is AESEN. So let first we check whether this variable is part of your input data set or not. You can see that it is already available here. I have seen somewhere, just give me a second. AESEN, here it is. Action taken with study treatment, meaning this variable is part of your data set already. That is raw data set. So here it is. Let's see. So what is the name? Action taken with study treatment. So let's see where it is. Just give me a second. Action taken with study treatment. Not here. Adverse outcome, severity. Here it is. Can you see this? This is going to be your variable, but it already have the same name. When it has the same name, what we are going to do? We are going to make sure that we are going to rename this particular one. Once we rename this, then we are going to convert that as per your controlled terminology. Because if you see in your input, that is in your study treatment, you can see it's supposed to have the control terminology. The control terminology is like this, correct? So the first thing that we are going to do is we will rename this AEACN is equal to AEACN1, correct? So the renaming part is completed. After the renaming part, the next thing that we are going to do is we are going to apply the conditional terminology or control terminology. So what is the control terminology for this? Even here in our class notes also we have discussed this, correct? You can see the control terminologies are here. But here in the specification itself, it is already clearly given what are the control terminologies that we're supposed to use for it. This is the control terminology that we are expecting. What is that? If it is going to be a drug withdrawn, if it is going to be a drug withdrawn, then it's supposed to be in the capital letter. So what we can do is I'll just rename this, replace this particular one because double quotes are there. Yes. Here is the value. What are them? If it is a drug withdrawn, this is the one. Interrupted, does not change it, not applicable. And if nothing is there, then it is going to be unknown. That is, null means unknown. There is a question. What is that? AEACN is also called concomitant medication. No, Raja. It is going to be the action. You can see here. It is going to be the action taken. Right? Concomitant medication is nothing but other medication also comes to the picture there. If you have given any other treatment, that also comes to the picture. So you should not consider your AE action as a concomitant medication. Both of them are different. You can say under the AE action, your concomitant medication is going to be a subset. It is a subset. In that way, you can understand. Okay. Right. So now what we are going to do, we are going to write a simple proc format again. So what is the second proc format that we want to do here? The second proc format that we want to do is the same one I'm writing. So here I'll say that this is also a character variable. This I'm doing for the action. So I simply put ACN. What is the control terminology? The control terminology is here. So my control terminology is, this is not null, right? Null is nothing but missing value, right? So here are the ones, correct? If it is going to be a drug withdrawn, I want to do this. If it is going to be a drug interrupted, this is the one. If it is going to be does not change, sorry, those not changed are not applicable. If nothing is there, it is unknown. So let's run this. Let's see. Okay, proc format got updated. The next thing is going to be, we'll scroll down. So we have AESCN1 here. That AESCN1, I'm going to use it to create this put of AESCN1 $ACN dot, correct? And this I supposed to keep it under my final variables. Let's run this now. Just a second. Yeah. Done. Go to your test. Oh, sorry, your AE base. Here it is. Go to the last one and I'll see what is going to be the data. Yeah, does not change. Hey, there is something which is wrong. Drug withdrawn is still there, correct? Drug withdrawn is not applicable yet. Let's see why. Just give me a second, because we can see that drug withdrawn is not applicable properly. We need to know the reason for that. So, okay, so there is a difference between these two. Oh, DRE. Oh, okay. In this, if you see in the control terminology, the spelling is wrong. It is DURG. Correct? That is the reason it haven't get updated. So just it's a spelling mistake. Make sure drug withdrawn is like this. Okay. Now let's update your proc format first. After that, go ahead and update your final data set. Now we're supposed to see the right data. Always, the moment you completed it, let's have a check and understand whether it got applicable properly or not. Right? So now it is proper. Drug withdrawal not applicable. Everything is there, right? And you can see not applicable is also there. Wherever it is going to be the blank, that is going to be not applicable. So all of them are available. Clear? So we have also completed your AE action. Okay, there is a question to me. The question is going to be, we have a variable named AESCN underscore CV. Can we use as is? We always going to follow your control term. Sorry, we always going to follow what is given in your specification Excel. In the specification Excel, my in name is going to be this. That is, in your input data set, your variable to handle your AE action is going to be AEACN. So we're supposed to take only that. Though you have your data which is almost relevant. It is almost irrelevant. You can see action taken with study treatment coded value. It is already a coded value, but still, what is given in your specification Excel, that we are going to follow as is. Am I clear? Perfect. All right. The next one. So we have done with your AE action. So the next one is going to be AEREL. What is AEREL? Always go here and check, understand your labels first. It is going to be adverse event relation towards the study drug, whether it is related or not. Correct? So now we are going to check this particular one in the specification Excel again. In the specification Excel also it is mentioned that it is going to be the same variable name, but the label is going to be casualty. So now here we are going to check where this casualty is. Here it is. Can you see the casualty is already there? So similar thing here also you can see the casualty coded value is there, but we are not going to take it because in the specification Excel it is clearly mentioned that you're supposed to use your in data set variable as AEREL, and you also need to go with the controlled terminology. So here is what my control terminology is. Use it as usual. So the first one, okay, values will be represented in the uppercase. That's the reason we are going with this particular one. We need to ensure that wherever we have the double quotes, we replace this with a single quotes. And here is what my controlled terminology is. Correct? So take this particular one, go here. This is what for your REL. So again, go with the formatting. So I'll create a user defined format even for this. So here it is. We will go with value. So it is going to be for the related value. So we just go with REL. Here is what my data is. I'm done, right? So now AERE is also done. Format is applied. Go to the end, and here also it is with the same name. So what we are going to do? We are going to rename it is equal to 1, and then we can take this particular one here and we apply our format. So it is going to be put of $1 REL dot, correct? And then this AEREL, we are going to keep it in your data set, that is keep variables. Done. Check for warnings. I don't have any warnings here. Go with your data and check your final data set, and you can see it is properly applied. So your AEREL also done. Sometimes some people prefer to go with your conditional statements also. That is, you can write if else statements and you can do that as well. But it is always good to write the format because you can use it again and again. Correct? Wherever it is related, you can use it. So it is better to go with your formats. That's the reason we are going with the formats. Now, the very important one and the tricky part is here. What is this? We are going with AESTDTC, that is adverse event start, date and time in character format. So first thing, how it is mentioned in your this one. Can you see this? They mentioned it is going to be calculated. This is what your variable is. Maybe I can highlight this here. You can see for these two variables, my input variables are going to be here. So let's go one by one. I want to calculate AESTDTC. To calculate this particular one, I need to use two variables. One is going to be AESTTATC and AESTTTIM. So first understand what these variables are. So I'll come here and you can see clearly. Here is what your AESTTIM, which is nothing but start time of your adverse event. This is one variable. What is the other variable? SDATC. This is the other one. That is start date and time of adverse event in the character format. So from my input data set, these two are the variables I supposed to use. Correct? This is what they are saying. Okay. But you can also see that these are all your start date and times. These are all your start date and times only, right? So what I'm going to do is, just to show you, I'm going to take all these variables. I'll create one simple test data set first. Let's say data test set raw.ae1. I'll tell you why I'm doing it. Okay. I'll paste this, all these variables, and I'll run this just to show you the data. So go here. These are all your start date values. If you see the first one, it is going to be start date and time of our adverse event. It is having the date. It is also going to have the time. But if you see properly, the time is not at all updated here. All the time is going to be zeros only. So first of all, I cannot use this. Am I correct? First thing is all of you are able to understand why I'm not able to use this, because this is nothing but your start date and time. Clearly mentioned that it is going to be a start date and time, start date. But this particular one doesn't have your time details updated. No time details got updated here. I couldn't use it. What they have suggested to users, they suggested to use this one and this one. This is the time, this is your date in the character format. And you can see that these three pretty much is going to be the same, correct? 2016 Feb 23. But they have asked us to go with these two variables. So let's go with these two variables first. That is This one doesn't require. They ask us to go with the character format followed by the time variable. So let's use these two alone and see. So now here I have the date, here I have the time. So what I'm going to form here, wherever I have both date and time, I'm going to create a timestamp, correct? Wherever date and time is not there, that is time is not there, I'm going to create only the date, correct? First of all of you are clear? So what is going to be the format? The format is going to be IS 8601, either DA or DT. DT is your timestamp, DA is going to be only the date. So your timestamp will come if the time exists. If the time value doesn't exist, I'm going to have only the date, correct? So all of you understand why my specifications Excel is important to us. I think Priyanka, now you get it, because if I don't have this information, what are the variables I should use it? Because my date looks alike, correct? If I look into this, my date is almost looks same to me. The other two variables also, the other variable are also having the this one, your start value here. This is pretty much looks like my timestamp only, the start date and time. But I cannot use that because it doesn't have your values updated, correct? If you don't see your time event here, you might have taken this particular one, right? But your specification Excel clearly mentioned that you're supposed to go with your character format of your date and your time values. All right, right. Again, we need to do some validation here. What is that validation? First thing, go with the test. I have some conditions here. What are those conditions? The first condition is going to be, I need to make sure that I should not have spaces in between, because I have the space here, I have the space here. After removing the spaces, I need to convert this into YYMMDD10, which is nothing but your IS8601A, right? Both of them are same, right? What is that? If I go with YYMMDD10 dot, which is equivalent to your date in this format, YYYY-MM-DD, which is nothing but your IS8601DA dot. So when I should go with this date, I need to go if, oh sorry guys, just a second. This one I should go if time is missing. What is that? If time part is missing, I should represent this in YYYY-MMDD format. Okay, first one is very clear. Second, if time part exists, what I should do? Can I directly take it? No. There also I need to do something. What is that? Let me show you a few things. Here, they clearly mention, even though it is 0800 morning 8 a.m., but still it has 0 at the beginning, correct? No worries. What if my time format, the total length is lesser than 5? That is, what if my first character is missing? Instead of 09.30, if they have mentioned simply 9.9:30, it is going to be different, right? While converting it, I'll end up with the wrong data, right? Am I correct or not? So what should I do now? I need to check my data first. The data cleaning I need to take care. I need to understand my data. I'll show you here, don't worry. So all I'm going to do now is, in my time, this is my time, correct? If strip off, I'm just removing the leading and trailing spaces. And also, I'm calculating the length. Length of strip of my time is not equal to 5. What is the meaning? It should not have, the total length must not be equal to 5, meaning wherever I have the total length, if it is not equal to 5, and at the same time I also need to make sure that it is not equal to 0 as well. Correct? That is nothing but it should exist. See, if the length of this one is greater than equal to 1, or it is greater than 1, or it is greater than 0, and if length of this particular one is not equal to 5, meaning I'm not considering the missing time values. At the same time, I'm just looking for only if my total length is lesser than 5. Why I am doing this? See, something went wrong. Let's see what went wrong here. Okay, I used two things. Yeah, check now what happened. Okay, something, the first condition is not getting applied. Okay, I'll do one thing, just give me a second. It is not equal to 5. This is perfect. If strip of this particular one, the time not equal to this. I'm checking both of them. Yes. Now can you see that? What exactly happening here? Can you see these ones now? I can see 3.51, 5.5:30, 830. That is nothing but for these 5 records, the leading 0 is missing. It's supposed to be 03:51. Correct? So what I'm trying to explain here, under the time, when I'm talking about your time, there are two conditions. First, if the time is missing, no issues. If the time is exists, check the length. If the length is lesser than, if it is lesser than 5, right? If it is lesser than 5, and I also need to check one more, colon exists or not. Sometimes it may be some value also, random value also. Correct? So if the colon exists, and if the before colon whatever the value is there, if that length is equal to 1, then I need to add a 0 in front of that. That is, I need to concatenate 0 in front of that. Am I clear? Every one of you are able to understand this? That is, check whether the colon exists or not. How to check whether the colon exists or not? I can simply say this is not equal to 0, or here I can say scan of strip of this particular one, comma, checking whether the colon is there or not, and 1. What is the meaning? I'm checking everything having colon or not. Number 2, whether the length is not equal to 5 or not. What happened? Just give me a second. Invalid argument. Why it is invalid argument? Oh, I have written this code. First, I need to use the word number. Then we need to go with your variable. That is your what you are looking at. Now I supposed to get it. The same data I got it. So what we have done here is I'm checking in the time the colon is there or not. If the colon exists, I'm checking what is going to be I'm checking the total length. If the total length is not equal to 5, obviously my first character is missing there. All of you are able to follow this. Can I have a quick confirmation? Right? Every one of you are clear? Right. Now, let's write the code. Because I'm checking all the data first, whether all the conditions are getting met or not. Because that is what the data validation that we are going to do. So first thing, here, if I'm looking at AE start time. That is what they have asked us to consider. Correct? So now I'm going here and I'm going to check where is my AE start time. This is the one. If it is missing, I don't have any issue. If AE start time is missing, then if it is missing, straightforward, my AE STDTC, that is nothing but my variable, this is start date and time in the character format, is equal to, again, here there is something that we need to do. What is that? This is the variable they asked us to consider, which is in a character format. Correct? This is in a character format. So the first thing I need to do is, this one is also going to have your spaces. See, this is also going to have the spaces. Correct? First I need to remove the spaces. To remove the spaces, I'm going to use the compress function. Compress of this, it is going to remove all your spaces. The first part is done. After removing all the spaces, what I need to do? It is in a character format. I need to convert this character format into the numeric format. And then I need to reapply my format. Correct? So I will convert this into input of, this is actually in a date 9 format here. So date 9. So what I have done here, maybe I can write this particular code here and I'll show you. So the first thing I have done here is I simply converted my value into a numeric format. Let's see. Step by step you can see. Can you see? I converted this character value into the numeric value. See. This is in a numeric value. It is AESTDC. Correct? What I need to do now, after converting this, I need my date value in a character format in SDTM. Correct? If you go to your this particular one, it is supposed to be a character value. So again, what I need to do, I need to convert that into the character. So I'll put a put function now, put of this whole thing, comma, it is YY take dot. Right? Now check this, which is nothing but IS8610 only. Both of them are going to be the same. Can you see now? Right? And also check your data, your variable type. It is going to be the character, and you can see that it is AESTDTC. Clear? So the first one is clear to all of you, how we are converting this, right? But remember, this one I need to do only if my time is missing. If the time is not missing, I need to add the timestamp. So my first condition is going to be, I would like to apply this only if my time is missing. Correct? So if missing of this time, then only do this. Now check this one. Clear? Only where the time is missing, there only it is getting updated. This is what we need. So can I say that now I'm going to copy this particular code from here simply, and I can apply this here in our main data set. Clear? All right. What is the next thing? Else, if this is not the condition, because I also need to check for your other one, right? What is the other one? Time. Else, if not missing of this, if not missing of this, else if not missing of AES time, then do. I'm going with the do operation here because I want to do two things here. The first one, okay, if it is not that, Again, I want to check one more condition here. What is that? If my total time, that is my length of, directly I'm going with this, length of scan of your AE start time, comma, the first word in that, right? That is all I'm calculating is my length of AE start and time first character is equal to 1. What is the meaning is equal to 1 means? I have only, okay, let me put this one here. I'll copy this. I'll put this one here. I'll show you the data first and then I'll tell you what I'm trying to do. Something is not fundamentally correct. Okay. I'll do one thing. I'll take only this one because I'm using else if, right? I'm taking only this particular one. All I want to do is I want to see if it is equal to 1. Still, what is missing here? Just a second. I'm missing something. I just want to figure it out what is missing because only those I want in my output. Then output, I'll write this. Still, 1 second please. Something we are missing. If length of scan of AEST time comma 1 is equal to 1, only those I want in my output. That is what my requirement is. If why I'm not getting it? I'm supposed to have only 5 variables in my output. Scan of AEST time 1 comma colon. Okay, let's see what I'm getting here. I'm calling it as length. I'm just storing in a variable first and see what we are getting there first. Test. So here I have 2 as well as 1. I'm looking only if it is equal to 1, correct? Then I'll go here. I'll say if length is equal to 1, not equal to 1. Right. So now you can see all these having your length is equal to 1. At the same time, I also need to take care one more, that is if length equal to 1 and ST time not equal to missing. Now I'm going to get my final value. Yes, these are the ones. So what we need to look at here, if this is what for all these I want to add a leading 0 because the first one you can see the scan of your timestamp before the colon I'm taking it and the length is only equal to 1 means I need to concatenate a 0 to it. So what I'm trying to do here, I'm making sure that it should not be missing, correct? That is, or also I can take this particular, copy this, else if AEST time not equal to missing for all the cases where the time is exist, then if the length of scan of AEST time comma 1 is equal to 1, for these I need to add a 0, correct? So how I can do that? This is equal to concatenate 0 Where is this concatenation operator? Yes. Strip of this. Am I correct, guys? All of you are able to understand what I'm trying to do here? All I'm trying to do here is wherever, if my time is not missing, and in my final value, if it is going to be like this, that is, my time has only the length of 4, I'm concatenating a 0 to that. That is what I'm doing. Okay. Yes, if it is not the case, so it is not missing. If it is not missing, but still we have this case. In that particular case, first we are going to apply this. Then I'm going to say my AE SDTC is equal to, because I have applied this now, after I have applied this particular one, I want to make sure that this whole thing is going to be my date. This whole thing is going to be my date. Concatenate with T, that is nothing but timestamp. Concatenate. What's the next thing? Strip of this, because I have already applied this particular one. Done. Can you run this now and see? So first check, are there any? Okay, all good. Go here and check it here. Oh, we haven't applied this in the keep statement. Let's put it in a keep statement. Not this. AESDDTC. All right. And now check this particular one. We're supposed to have the proper data. AE base. Go to the last one, where the timestamp is. Nowhere timestamp is applied. Okay, let's check what went wrong. This is went wrong. We use else if. Now check this. Now we're supposed to have this one in our output. Why? Any idea, guys, what went wrong here? What went wrong? Okay. One thing I can think of is, after this one, I think the length is the one which is playing a role here, right? So I'll do one thing. I'll apply the length, or I'll write it in reverse. Just a second. Yes, it is applying. Now we will go with this. Now I will give you the reason what went wrong also. Now you can see both of them are properly applying. So what went wrong here is, because ideally we also need to take care of the lengths, because I told you in the yesterday's class itself, all the lengths I'm going to do it at the end, correct? So here what happened is, before we go with this, we first we have written this statement. What is the statement that we have written? We went with this one. This statement we have written first. So what happened here? Wherever AESTM is missing, my STDTC, this is a character variable, and this character variable is created with a length of 10. Correct? The length with which it got created is 10. Right. Then When you apply this particular condition, so what is going to be the total length? 10. T is going to be 1, 11, followed by 5 characters here, 16. My length is going to be 16. But my variable already got created with a length of 10. I want to store a variable value of 16 in that. So character values, what is going to happen? Simply it is going to get truncated. That is the reason it got truncated. Now what we have done? First I have written this condition. So my AESTDTC got created with 16 first. After that, I want to store a value of 10. Nothing wrong in that. All of you are able to understand? So why the same code haven't worked before and why it got worked now? Can I have a quick confirmation from everyone? Right? So guys, everything we need to go, we need to understand, we need to debug if something goes wrong. Right? Now we understand we are not able to see the whole value though the code is correct. Then we understand that the length part is creating a problem here. There are two solutions. One, I can assign the length at the top. Instead, what I did, I just flipped it. First, I have created a variable with 16, so the maximum length is already assigned there. Then we go with the normal one. All of you are able to follow, guys? Can I have a quick confirmation? It is very, very important. Whenever we are going with this, we need to do this. Remember two things. One, I could have prepared the entire code before the class and I can simply copy paste here. Instead, I'm building the code here so that if something goes wrong, we also can understand how to debug it. That is what we are actually doing now. Am I correct? Any questions? Right. Now we have the other variable here. The other variable is this. For this, instead of starting, I'm going to use the ending date and time. That is the only difference, right? Can I apply the same logic here with only one change? What is the change? Wherever start time is there, instead of the start time, I'm going to use the end time. Am I correct? Instead of start time, I'm going to use the end time. Instead of SDTTC, I'm going to use ENDTTC. That's it. And here I'll see this. What is the variable name? Proper variable name, and I can come back. This is AEENDTC. So now one variable that I need to change is the first one. Instead of AESTDTC, it is going to be AENDTC. That's it, right? Because I have the same variables already exist here. So all I'm doing is I'm just simply taking those variables and I'm just going to perform the same logic, because whatever the logic I'm applying for this one, that is start date, the same logic I'm going to apply for the end date also. Only change is going to be instead of start date and time, I'm going to use the end date and time. Correct? So now this is going to be the logic. So just simply going to apply this particular one in my key variable. Done. Run. Clear. AE base. Go to the last one. Here also I can see clearly wherever end date or time is there, it is there. Here you can see it is missing because I don't have the end date for it. It is totally acceptable, right? Start date must be there, but if it is not end date, there's no end date, it is acceptable. Correct? All of you are clear up to this? Can I have a quick confirmation? Can I say that we are done with all the raw variables, required variables? Only one is missing, which is nothing but the AE sequence. We will do that. Under your expected variables, all the variables are completed. Clear or not, guys? Any questions from anyone? How we are doing it? How we are debugging it? Any other questions on this? I'm happy to answer it. Anyone have any questions? Team, you're not at all speaking. Questions are there or any clarifications required? Anything, please feel free to ask me. All right. So with this, I can say that up to this, we are good with almost all the variables. Now we are going with the next set of variables, that is nothing but your permissible variables. What are permissible variables? If it is present in your ACRF, it is present in your protocol, we are going to have it in your final data set. If it is not there, not an issue, we can exclude that particular one. Correct? So let's see AE group ID. I'm coming here for AE group ID. So maybe I can filter out with our core values. The core is going to be permissible. Here it is. I need to check with my AE group ID. 1 second. Yeah, here it is. And you can see that here clearly AE group ID in name is missing, means it is not there in my input. Correct? There is no input variable representing it. Obviously, the meaning is it is not part of your protocol. So what I can do? Simply, I can have this variable as missing. Got it? Second, AE ref ID. AE ref ID is nothing but your record position, which is nothing but record number. It mentioned that it is going to be a record number. So what I can do now, wherever I want to represent this AE ref ID, there and all, I can simply use my record number. Correct? So first let's check the data and then we can come back on it. So I need to go with AE ref ID. So my AE ref ID is in my input data set. It is a record number. So check for the record number. Cache quality requires change date and time. No. No. Somewhere it must be present. We'll check that. Oh, okay. Why unnecessarily we are wasting time? So we have an option of data test set raw dot your AE1. I want to go with only one variable. Keep is equal to, what is the variable here, guys? The keep variable is going to be record position. This is the one that I want to see because it is already there in the input data set. Run. See. Proc. Print. Run. Yes. So this is the record position. Correct? I can see that clearly. Record position data set is there. So record position variable is there. This variable is the one which is representing my data. So if you go there, I can clearly see this is my record number. It is already in your numeric format, and this is the one that I would like to use it. But what is going to be the format for this particular one? Let's see that. The format for this particular one here is, it's supposed to be the numeric, length is going to be 8. This is what we are looking at. So simply I can go here and I'll say that record position is the one that I would like to use to represent my AE reference ID. So my AE reference ID is equal to, just to remove all of our what to say, leading or trailing spaces, if at all it is there. I don't think so we have that here for because it is not going to be a character variable. So it's supposed to be the numeric variable that we are expecting. So I don't need to do that as well. Simply I can do this. AE ref ID. Because it's a numeric variable, I don't need to do any changes as well. Done. So this is also completed. Go with the next one. Then AESP ID. What do you mean by AESP ID? Can anyone tell me? Anyone?
Sponsor ID.
Yes. Sponsor identifier variables or sponsor identifier one. This they either they will come from the sponsor database or it is going to be mentioned via CRF. So do we have any details about this here? I don't have it. You can see that there is no input variable for it. Since there is no input variable, what we can do? Simply we can say that from here to here, you can see from SPID to AELOC. For all this, we don't have any values. From my input data set, we don't have any values for that. Since we don't have any values for that, for all of this, we can directly assign my output as missing values. Am I correct? Because it is not there in your CRF, it is not there in your protocol. Obviously, you cannot define them. So for all this, I can straight away apply my output, that is my values, as missing. You understand, right, what I'm trying to do here? Because we don't have a value for it. Means we don't have values in the input data set. But all you need to understand here is whether these are character or numeric. All these are character. So simply I can copy this, I can use this here. Done. What's next? We can go here. Up to this is already done. So now we need to go with the AESEV, which is nothing but severity. So how it is defined? In the input data set, the same name is there, correct? And you have the control terminology for that. What is the control terminology? The control terminology is going to be like this. So when we have the control terminology, what we need to do? We are going to create a format for it, correct? Replace. So go here, remove this particular one. These are going to be my final values. Let's copy them and create one severity format. So where can I create it? Already we have the user defined formats here. Let's go there. And so my value is going to be severity. And here are the values for the severity. Correct? Done. So now I can add it here because it is already there in my input data set already. So what we can do, I can take any one of this here, put it. It is going to be AE severity. It is going to be severity 1 and it is going to be SEV. But before that, I need to rename it from my input data set, correct? So here is what my rename list is. Under the rename list, I can add this particular one. AB severity 1 is equal to this. And I also need to add this in my final output. Am I correct? Guys, you understand what I'm trying to do here? I'm just going a little faster here because these are quickly can be done. That's the reason I'm going a little faster. So hope all of you are not mind. Can you do now? Can you see this? What is happening? We're supposed to have the uppercase, right? Have you applied the uppercase or not? Oh, we haven't run the proc format. That's the reason it is not showing. Let's run the proc. Now go with this. Now we can see everything is properly applied, but here also there is a problem. No problem. Everything is proper. Now we can see all of them has the proper. Wherever the missing values are there, missing values got applied. Wherever we want to apply the control terminology, we are applied this. Then the next one, severity is also done. Then you are going to have action other, correct? What is action other here? Do we have any control terminology for this, or do we have any input variable? No input variable for this. There's no input variable for the relationship to the non-study treatment also. For these two, there is no values present in your input data set. So for these two, it is going to be, values are going to be null, correct? That is missing values. Apply missing values for them. Done. And add these two into my final list. That is in my variable list. I can add them. Right? What's the next one? AE PATT. What exactly it is going to talk about? This is pattern of your adverse event. The same name is already present there. The pretty much same name is there. So we can use that particular one. And I don't have any control terminology for this particular one. So simply copy this and you can use that particular one in your output. So it is already there in the input. So what I can do is I'll simply use uppercase of this and I'll use 1. That is, since it is part of my input variable, I'll rename it and I will use it. Done. Right? What's the next thing? I can also go with AE out. Let's see what is there for AE out. So for AE out, again, it is going to be outcome of your adverse event. It is as is present in my input. So all I'm going to do is take this particular one, come back to this. I'll use the same logic here as well. All I'm going to do is this. I'll call it as 1 because the same name is already exist in my input. I will rename it here. So keep this one here is equal to this. Clear? A out is also done. So what is the next one? Whatever S comes, all these are going to be nothing but my CDS, that is adverse event CDS. Correct? Do you have any congested, or it is going to be disability or death, hospitalization, life-threatening or other medical events? All these will be CAN is nothing but development of cancer. Correct? So all these we are going to check what are going to be the equivalent values in the input, and we can take them as is. So first I'm keeping all of them in my output. Right? And then I'm going to write each one of them here. Remember, all of them has the control terminology. Why? These are going to be yes or no's. Correct? These are going to be yes or no's. So we're supposed to have the control terminology for them. So let's see them. So I'll go here. First, I'll check for AESCAN. Here it is. For the cancer related one, I don't have any input. So it is supposed to be blank. Correct? I don't have anything related to this. I'm going to have it as a blank value because it is not there in my input. Correct? What is the next one? This one, conjunctional anomaly, which is nothing but birth defect. So I have the same value in the input also. Correct? And it is supposed to be, what is going to be the value also? We are going to check this. It is going to have the same value in the input. So, but it is going, we need to apply the control terminology for this. Correct? My output value is going to be CONG. My input is going to be AESCON. So what I should do now, first I need to see how these values are going to be in my input data set. Let's see that. Where it is. What is the name? Here it is. Conventional, either these are going to be zeros or ones. If it is going to be 0, it is going to be no. If it is going to be 1, it is going to be yes. The same thing also mentioned here. Can you see this? The code itself they have given. Correct? Let's use it as it is. So what is the code? The code is going to be, if it is going to be AESCON, that is going to be your variable. That is, if my input variable is going to be AESCON, and if this value is equal to 1, then this value is equal to yes. If not, this value is equal to no. Am I correct? That is what we are doing here. Right. Then how about the disability? For the disability, this is the value. What is the value for this? AE, if this is equal to 1, in that particular case, this value is equal to Y, else it is going to be no. Right? What about the death event? This is the one. This is disability. Death is different. Where the death is. Here is what? Death. If it is going to be 1, then I need to proceed with this value is equal to yes, else this value is equal to no. Then hospitalization. Here is what the hospitalization is. So again, we are going to write the same thing. If this is equal to 1, then this value is equal to y, else this value is equal to no. Then life threatening. Here is the variable. If this is equal to 1, then your life threatening is equal to yes, else this value is equal to no. Then where is the other one? Disorders, right? Where we have that? Here it is. This one I don't have any input, so simply it is going to be missing. Finally, other medical events. So other medical events, it is going to be this, the others, AESOTH. So if AESOTH is equal to 1, I have a doubt. What is this AESOTH? Let's see. This is death, life threatening. What is the value for AESOTH? It is other reason. Let's see where is this other reason is. This is also zeros and ones, so no worries. We can proceed with this. Then this value is equal to yes. Oops, just a sec. Is equal to yes. Yes, this value is equal to no. Right? So pretty much all the things related to your serious events has come to the picture. Let's run them. I supposed to have only yes and no at the output. Something went wrong. What is that? No, not that. So okay, a couple of things went wrong. Those are not only the one or someone mentioned where it is. Here it is this, and also this will be this one, right? I supposed to have the statement. This is a different statement. The other one is a different statement. Correct? Yeah. Now it's supposed to have the right values. Now go to your AE base and check your values. Now I can see only the no's and yes are get updated. Perfect. So how many variables are still pending? Just give me some more time today, guys. Maybe we will complete this and we can wind up, but not the complete coding. Up to this is done. Let's see what and all other things we can do here, and we can wind up the session. So this is going to be this treatment, right? So what is this value? This one, concomitant treatment. So there is going to be a value for this. There is going to be a control terminology. Again, it is going to be no means no, yes means yes. So here I have to write a format for this. Am I correct? So let's see that. What is the value? CONTR. Correct? Let's see whether CONTR is there or not. CONTR. This is the one. CONTR is the value that we need to take. So what is the CONTR value? Concomitant or non-drug therapy. Okay. Let's see where is this. Concomitant or clinical coded just a second. Casualty not here. Conditional other specify concomitant where exactly it is. Okay, sorry guys, let's write it here. What is the value for this? This one. We have one more the underscore CV. Let's see both of them. Just want to check both of them. Here it is. Okay. So it is going to be no means N, yes means Y. This is the value that we're supposed to get it. Okay. We can do this now. So we can go to the code. We can write this is the value that I have to take. For this particular one, I have to use a method like this. So AECONTR is equal to AON. This one I can simply call it as CONTR. Okay. For CONTR, I have to write the values here. First rename, done. After that, here I have to say, I can use this one also. I don't need to apply another one. Already yes or no is already there, right? I don't need to go with another one. I can use the same because both of them are same anyways. I can use it. Correct? Yes or no only, right? So that is the advantage of writing your user defined functions, right? Otherwise there is no need. Correct? So this one is supposed to be part of my output. Yeah. Okay. Right. So what's the next one? Toxic. So let's see, is there any related value for this? I don't have anything in the input. I can straight away remove this particular one, that is missing value. I can apply for this. Let's keep it in my output and also apply a missing value to this. Okay, up to this we can run. Here is what my final data set is. So why I'm stopping here is, guys, see, yes or no already come. This one I don't have value, it is going to be null. I'm stopping here. The reason for that is I thought I can complete it, but the next values that we want to concentrate, these ones, study days are there. Study days are there. For this we need to pick the data from, because I need the reference start and date and time, that we need to get it from the DM data set. So we need to do the merging and all. So what we can do is we finish these three and we can keep these two alone pending for the tomorrow, because we also need to apply the links, we also need to create the sequence numbers and all. These are pending, so these we can do tomorrow. But let's finish these three variables, the duration and all, we will finish it. So duration and these three, you can see that ENTR, PT, these three, we don't have any values from the input. So I can simply take these three values and I can ensure that these three values are nothing but null, missing values. Correct? Let's apply them. All right. And then I can have this in my output. Right. Okay. So now we need to go with three more. What are them? Sorry, two more. Two more variables are there. Those are derived variables. I need to derive those variables by taking the data from the DM data set. So these two are pending that we can do, because the reason for this particular one will be these two have the dependencies from the your other data set, which is nothing but your which one? Your DM data set. The sequence is pending, so totally three values. These three values we can do it by tomorrow. No, AE duration is not the date. AE duration is not the date, number of days, and it is not a calculated one. If you remember, the AU duration, if it is mentioned in your CRF, we are going to take it as it is. If it is not there, we don't take it. Right? That is the duration of your adverse event. You can also see that here. This is duration of your adverse event. It is going to mention number of days. It is not the date. Right? You can clearly mention in the derivation also. It is not a derived one, captures from the CRF. If it is present in the CRF, we take it as it is. Guys, this meaning if you are asking these type of questions, I encourage asking this, but what I can understand is you are not reading. You are not reading. Right? Don't what to say? Don't stop asking the questions, but all I'm saying is these are the ones which are basic, which is already defined. So these questions, when you are asking me, please make sure that you understand the concept. Okay, so totally 3 variables are pending for us. What are the 3 variables? One is going to be a sequence number. This we are going to do it at the last. We also have your AE, study day and end day. These two we are going to calculate based on 2 things. What are them? For calculating this one, it is going to be like your AE start date and time in character format, and your RF, that is nothing but reference start and date and time in the character format, which will come from the demographics data set that we need to use. So for the next step tomorrow we are going to do is, we already have a demographic data set. Sorry, we are going to use that particular one, and we are going to bring your data point to the current data set. We are going to match it, and then we are going to calculate it. For the second one, we need reference end date and timestamp. So that also we are going to bring it from the DM data set. Once we have these two, on the final data set, we are going to create based on the subject ID, we are going to create your sequence number. With that, we will be completing our uh, data set, but still the labels we need to apply. We also need to take care of the lengths. We need to go with the proper lengths. Whatever the lengths are mentioned here, you need to create all your variables accordingly. So that also we are going to do. Clear? So by tomorrow we can complete the AE. Complete AE will be done. So then tomorrow itself we are going to pick up the DM dataset. That is also important because I want to explain that as well in detail. So once we complete that by this week, you will be good with these two. That is, then I can give you this. Already I have shared this particular one to you, right? So you can start writing your code for CO, SC, and SV, MHTV, and DS, because clinical dataset, this project is not covering that. Correct? But the remaining here, you can write the code for the 3 domains. Here you can write the code for the 3 domains. Clear, everyone? All of you are comfortable? Any questions? Are you able to follow first of all? In general, I don't go in detail. This much detailing I generally don't give, guys, because most of you are very new to this. So I want to go in depth. So that's the reason I'm trying to explain on a very slow pace. I'm explaining this. All right. So all I need from you is write the code for the remaining ones. All right. Then you will be very good with what is required for it. CE domain nodes. I haven't shared it with you guys. I hope I have shared it, but if not, I can do it. I'll do it. Not an issue. I'll do it. Okay. Thank you, everyone. See you tomorrow. Take care. Bye.